Our next talk is Alex Bazhanau from Bloqboard. Short and sweet, easy DeFi leveraging Bloqboard. Let's give it up for Alex.
Thank you. Thanks. Hello, everyone. So I'm Alex from Bloqboard, and I'd like to tell you how you can easily integrate with decentralized finance protocols to execute short and long positions without losing a custody of your assets and without knowing the specifics of the protocols. So a couple of words about our company, what we are doing. So Bloqboard is a decentralized asset lending platform, and with Bloqboard you can easily interact with different protocols like MakerDAO, Compound, Dharma, and you can do this with the app, and it's okay for consumers, for customers to manually do trading and then borrowing assets, then selling it, executing short and long positions. But if you're a developer, it's not a good solution, right? So that's when Bloqboard lending wallet comes in. So this solution allows you as a developers to program your trading bots or other software and integrate your software with the decentralized finance ecosystem without knowing how it works. And actually, it's a solution. It's actually I have the text for my workshop. I just forget to share it with you. So you can open this link, bit.ly/2bezwq2, and it will contain a link to peerpad.net. It's some kind of platform for managing text, and it's built by Protocol Labs. So it utilizes IPFS and CRDT to allow you to manage text and to be distributed in decentralized manner. So you can follow this text if you will have some, if you will stop somewhere, and you can go next with this text. Yeah. So and let's get back to lending wallet. So lending wallet it's yeah. Oh, sure. One sec. Probably will take it like this. Is it okay? Okay. Yeah. So Bloqboard, it's a solution that gives you opportunity to engage in on-chain lending over a simple HTTP API in non-custodial manner. So this software runs on your server in the cloud or at your computer, and it will manage all the transactions for you. So you don't need to go deep to the MakerDAO smart contracts or Compound smart contracts. And also this solution have the integration with Kyber DEX, so it will allow you to sell immediately the assets that you have borrowed on one of the lending protocols, and also will help to repay some dust. Okay, so as I mentioned, with this solution you don't really need to have any experience with Web3 or smart contracts or Ethereum. So all you have to do is just to create an Ethereum account, pass it to this software, and interact with the software over the convenient HTTP API. And it's really reduce the barrier for new developers to dig into the decentralized finance ecosystem. And also this solution have the auto-generated web interface, so you even don't need to do any coding in order to interact with this solution. So I will show you how to use this and how to interact with decentralized lending protocols. So first of all, you need to go to the GitHub repository with the source code, and it's open source project, so you can review this if you want, and you can ensure that your private key will not go somewhere else, and you will be like having the custody of your assets. And once you go to this GitHub repository, you can clone it to your computer. And yeah, I already did it on my computer. So after the step when you clone this repo, you can just install the npm packages. So and then you can then you need to pass the account with the assets to this solution. Wait a sec. Yeah, so the second step, you need to generate a new private-public key pair. You can do this with any like client, like my Ether wallet. So we need just to create a new account by key store file. We can generate some random password here. All right, then I can download the JSON file that contains the private key to my computer, and then I can access the account on the my Ether wallet, for example. So I'm pasting the password that I used when I was creating the account. Yeah, it's just an empty account. Then you need to send some Ether. And by the way, the Ledger wallet can work with testnet with Cowan, but not all of the protocols are working good on testnets. So to be honest, the only network way when you can test all the protocols is the mainnet. So you need to have some real Ether to try this. So, and once you created the account, you just need to send some Ether to this account. Yeah, please don't send the big amounts the first place. Please test on the small amount first, and then if you're sure, if you're sure that you don't lose the money, you can try it with the larger amount. But this project is not like complete solution. It's rather MVP, so it's not audited. It's maybe not tested well, so like use it at your own risk. All right. So, and once you create an account, you can click print, and you can get the private key from my Ether wallet, and then you need to go into the repository that you have cloned, and you need to paste the private key of this newly created account to the app. So on the GitHub page, you will see how you can do this. Wait a sec. Yes, so in the repository you have the resources folder and the account JSON. So this file contains the private key from your account, with which you will interact with the smart contracts. All right, so you need just to paste the private key here. I already done this with my account, and I already have some Ether on it. And after this, we can run the application actually. So all I need to do is just copy this command, npm run start. So yeah, I'm assuming that you have the Node.js installed on your computer. If you don't have, please install some recent version. And let me make it bigger. All right. So I'm running the command npm run start from the project directory, and it started. So once the application launched, I can go to this link. It's a link to localhost. Let me open in the new tab. So we are on this third step when we are opening the auto-generated user interface of the lending wallet, and we can see what kind of actions I can do with my Ethereum address right now with my account. So first of all, I can check balance of my account. I can specify some specific token if I want to check only one balance, but if I just leave it by default, I will get all my balances in all supported tokens. So for now, the solution supports only wrapped Ether, DAI, 0x, REP, and BAT. But more tokens will come up when they will have like more adoption, more liquidity. Right. So it's just like probably top 5. I don't know. It's actually the tokens that supports that Compound protocol supports. So on this account, I already sent 0.1 Ether to this account, and in order to interact with different protocols, I need to wrap it, because like whole decentralized finance system ecosystem, it works with not with the Ether itself, but rather with wrapped Ether. So in order to wrap the Ether, you can just click to this green area. It's the user interface for posting the wrap action, and to actually like when we send the post request to the lending wallet that runs on my local machine right now, it will create a transaction to wrap the Ether, and it will send it to Ethereum network. So I just need to click try it out on the right corner, right upper corner, and I need to specify the amount of the wrapped of the Ethers that I want to wrap. Just keep in mind that I need to leave some Ether for gas fees. So let me convert 0.05 Ether, and you also can specify, do you want to wait till the transaction will be mined, or you want to receive the response from the lending wallet immediately. So by default, it will wait for the transaction, but I don't know, I don't want to wait right now, I just want to show you what happened immediately. So I click execute, and this user interface will send the post request to the local server of Bloqboard lending wallet, and in the response you can see the transaction log that occurred during the execution of this rep endpoint. So it actually returns the data about the transaction that happened, and as you can see here, there is a hash field, and we can copy it and paste to Etherscan just to see what happened with this. Yeah, it's a mainnet transaction, so it takes time to mine, but yeah, we need to wait a little bit. And yeah, and while we are waiting, I want to tell like, what we are going to do next after we wrap our Ether into wrap Ether. So actually what we are going to do in this workshop, we are going to make a cross protocol arbitrage of interest rates, because like nowadays on MakerDAO we have the APR of one. Wait a sec, I will show you. It's a Bloqboard lending wallet, and Bloqboard platform, and you can see that for borrowing DAI on Maker, APR is like annual percentage rate is 1%, but I can lend the same DAI to Compound with the 2.36%, and by this I can earn the difference in the APRs. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to borrow DAI from Maker and supply it to Compound, and by this action we can earn some money. So let me check if transaction was mined. Yeah, we successfully wrap our Ether, and we can check on the Swagger user interface the new balance of our account. So yeah, you can see that we successfully wrap 0.05 Ether, and with this I can go to MakerDAO section of this user interface, and I can easily supply my collateral, my wrapped Ether that will be used as a collateral, and I can borrow DAI in the same transaction. So under the hood, this Lending wallet utilizes the Bloqboard MakerDAO gateway smart contracts that serves like a wrapper around the MakerDAO system. So, and it allows you to do borrowing in the single transaction. So let's see, I want to supply my wrapped Ether, and I want to borrow, let's say, 1 DAI. I will leave CDP ID blank, and in this case, the Bloqboard Lending wallet will create the new CDP for me. So let's execute this action. Yeah, probably forget to specify that I don't need to wait for the transactions. So the Lending wallet will return the response only once the transaction will be mined by default. But in the logs, yeah, actually I can just go to Etherscan, and we can see that the transactions were already sent to the Ethereum network. Yeah, so actually the wallet sends 2 transactions. First was the unlocking the wrap Ether. In order to supply the tokens to smart contract, you need to unlock them first. It's like some kind of rule across all the Ethereum protocols, like protocols that are based on Ethereum smart contracts. So, and the second transaction will be actually borrowing the DAI with wrapped Ether. Yeah, so as you can see, the first transaction already successfully executed, and here comes the second transaction that will do both supply and borrowing in the one transaction. Yeah, it's also successfully mined, and as you can see, we utilized the supply wrapped Ether and borrow DAI function of the Bloqboard MakerDAO gateway smart contract. And as we can see on Etherscan, we supplied 0.05 wrapped Ether and borrowed 1 DAI. And let's see what happened with our balances on Bloqboard Lending wallet. Yeah, so as you can see, we already supplied all wrapped Ether, and now we have 1 DAI. So, and if we go down to the MakerDAO section of this API, we can see there are 2 GET requests that allows you to see the status of your CDPs. So the first one will show the open CDPs of the current Ethereum account. So we just opened a new CDP when we was supplying the assets. And the second endpoint will allow you to see the status of the CDP in programmatic way. So this endpoint returns a JSON with the borrowed DAI balance and also with outstanding DAI balance, because like in MakerDAO you have to pay the interest rates, like in every lending protocol you need to pay some APR, some interest rate in order to borrow some principal. So as you can see, this APR, I mean like this interest occurs every block, and if we click once again, like right now I have 3344 here, and now I have 4038. So yeah, the outstanding debt increases every block, but the APR is only 1%, and we can supply this one DAI to the compound protocol and earn additional additional percents on this DAI. So I'm going to compound section, and actually we can check the current balances in compound. So it's like a newly created account, and I don't have any supplied balances in compound yet, but we are going to supply, let's see, we're going to supply one DAI. We don't want to wait till the transactions will be mined, and we just send in these transactions. So as you can see, there are two transactions. First is unlock the DAI to compound protocol, and then we actually supplying the DAI to the compound. Yeah, it takes time for Etherscan to update the status of this transaction. But yeah, while we are waiting, let's discuss what we are going to do next with this balance on compound, because I just recently supplied the asset on compound. It also, first of all, it gives me some additional interest as a lender. Okay, and in the same time, I can use it as a collateral to borrow some other assets on compound. And with this DAI, I can borrow, let's say, I can borrow some other tokens, like, for example, BAT, and I can then sell it on Kyber exchange, also from this lended wallet. And if the price of BAT will go down, let's say in a week, I can buy it back with the lower price, and I can repay my outstanding debt, and I can leave the difference to me. So actually I will be doing the shorting of BAT with compound and Kyber. So let's check the transaction for the supply. Yeah, so I successfully supplied one DAI to the compound, and let me check this. Yeah, it's borrow balance. I haven't borrowed anything yet. Let's see the supply balance. Yeah, so as you can see, we supplied one DAI, and because we already waited a couple of blocks, I have some additional dust already. It's like my profit already occurred actually, and we can compare it with the outstanding debt in MakerDAO, and probably in a couple of minutes we will have more balance in compound than our debt in DAI, and that's how we can make some money. Yeah, of course, like you need to supply some ether to MakerDAO to borrow the DAI, but it's another story. All right, so now I have some collateral in compound that making me some profit, and also I can use it for borrowing some BAT. So let's say I want to borrow 0.005 BAT. Yeah, and I can check the transaction on Etherscan. And while we are waiting for the mine event, we can prepare the transaction on Kyber. So in the Kyber section, we have the sell endpoint, and I want to specify that I want to buy wrapped Ether, and I want to sell BAT. And the amount that I want to sell, we can take it from the borrow section. So yeah, I want to sell my BAT. I just need to wait till, yeah, I successfully borrowed it from Compound, as you can see. And let's check the borrow balance first, just to ensure that everything goes right. Yeah, so as you can see, I already borrowed the amount of BAT, but I already have some outstanding interest to repay. So hopefully we will be able to do some profit with BAT. So I'm selling it on Kyber. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to borrow this. No, I just want to sell it. Yeah, so first of all, we need to unlock tokens for Kyber smart contract. The first transaction is unlock, and the second transaction is actually trade. Yeah, so it takes time to update the status, but like while we are waiting, I can just show you what else we can do with the Blended wallet. So like we already covered MakerDAO, Kyber section, Compound section, and also we have the Dharma integration on Blended wallet. So you can easily fetch open debt requests or open lend offers from our Bloqboard Dharma Relayer API, and you can fill those orders right from this lending wallet. So you don't have to integrate with us directly. So you need just to, for example, we just fetched the order book from Bloqboard right now, and you, if you are a developer, you can create some kind of filtering logic that will filter out the orders that you are interested in, and you can fill the orders that you want. Yeah, for some reason the transaction was reverted, but but you can check it later why it was reverted. But the whole principle is like this: you can borrow on Compound, you can borrow on Maker, you can borrow on Dharma with this solution, and you can sell it not just actually with Kyber, you can sell it with any decentralized exchange. And we can easily integrate any DEXs here. And also there is a plan for Binance integration. So you can also programmatically send and withdraw money from Binance account. It it will takes time because you need to wait for confirmations. But you also can you'll be able to use Binance with this, because there is a problem that on DEXs there is not so much liquidity nowadays. So for some big traders, it's not a solution to use DEXs for short or long, but with centralized exchanges, it can be done. Yeah. So let me use some smaller amount. All right, so while we're waiting for the transaction, maybe you have some questions? If you don't have some questions, I just want to, we already described some of the future directions, and beside this, we are going to explore the ability to integrate this logic in some trading libraries, because some traders are using some libraries for integration with exchanges, so it can be helpful for them. And like we also wanted to do some technical work, and we're going to do better nonce management, and more integrations are coming. Actually, more protocols will be integrated here. And yeah, it's open source project, so we are calling for developers to help us to build this and to allow other developers to easily engage with the decentralized finance ecosystem. Right, so thanks everyone. Maybe you have some questions. Right, so that's it. Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh, let's check. Yeah, I can go to you after the presentation. We can deal with this, yeah. Right, thank you guys.
All right, thank you everyone. That was Alex from Bloqboard. Let's give it up for Alex.